Kohalo, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Rachachwedash. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's your bro Yashar back with an epistle. So I was just perusing news articles, and this news article caught my eye. It says Hebrew Israelite teen sues for $4 million after alleged forced pizza feeding. Now I couldn't believe the title. I'm like, Hebrew Israelite. So then I actually typed this shit on Google. This is a Canadian news television. Canadian news television word. This is a Canadian site, and they reported on the same thing, but they put religion. So we're going to read a little bit from both, okay? So it says, a former high school football player wants $4 million in legal damages after his coaches allegedly forced him to eat pizza covered in pork grease, according to a lawsuit. The apparent pizza punishment levied because the student missed a mandatory weightlifting session violated the student's religious beliefs, he claimed in a federal court papers. The student, identified only as KW, is a what? Is a black Hebrew Israelite. First of all, there's no such thing as a black Hebrew Israelite. It's just Hebrew Israelite. A faith which forbids consuming pork or pork residue, according to the litigation filed in Ohio. All right. KW was a starter on the football team at McKinley High School in Canton, Ohio. But after he skipped a mandatory weightlifting session, he was confronted with a large pepperoni pizza, the suit says. So already right here, Yahweh Shemashai is testing this man to see if he's really about it. Because at this point, this says it was published on January 1st. At this point, the truth has been out there. It's been on the internet, especially in times of lockdown. A lot of people spent time on their computers, so there's no excuse. At this point, he should have already known that the Hebrew Israelites, starting with Great Millstone, okay, we don't believe in eating pork at all. I'm gonna get the script, but this man was tested, and at 18, now, if this was at 18, you're pretty grown at that point. I mean, you've had your whole life to be taught the scriptures, but because we live in these modern day wicked days, being 18 is looked at as a child, even though you're a grown man. You become a grown man at age 12, according to our law. So he's probably young, star-eyed, wet behind the ears, but it says here, I mean, if he's identifying as a Hebrew Israelite, like, clearly he's learned something. You know what I mean? So anyways, head coach Marcus Watley, who has since been fired, and other district employees allegedly forced KW to sit alone in a chair in a gym as his 30-odd teammates lifted weight and sprinted in a circle around him. Man, Yahweh Shemashai set this up perfectly. KW was told if he didn't eat the whole pizza, his future on the team would be in jeopardy, he claimed in court papers. So in other words, this man was confronted with, is you going to bow down to the world, or is you going to maintain your faith and just say, fuck it, man, like, fuck this world. Let's find out what he did. His teammates, who were not allowed to stop their exercises until he finished, so the heat's on, allegedly threatened him, he charged. So, probably like, yo, eat the motherfucking pizza, we gonna beat you, all that bullshit, man. So he is going through a test right now. Let's find out what happens. After his religious objections, so he probably brought up the scripture, probably not though, he probably just said, oh, it's against my, Jake, man. So let's see, KW was allowed to remove the pepperoni, but the pork grease residue was still on the pie, he alleged. Okay, there's no, you can't have it both ways. Okay, it's just like I learned this example. You make a beautiful soup, right? You stir that bitch up, you let it marinate, but then you look and you see 3 flies in your soup, man. That shit is contaminated. All right, so the pork on this pizza, you can remove it, but it doesn't change anything. So let's see what he does. The whole May to it happened last year. Okay, fiasco was captured on surveillance video. Oh shit, word? According to court papers. After he ate the pizza, so he failed the test. God damn, bro. You had one motherfucking job, man. So he ain't no real Hebrew Israelite. He caved, man. He caved. His faith wasn't strong enough. Damn. The coaches forced him to run up and down the football field and practice duck walks, said the student, who later switched schools. So not only did he fail the test in the sight of Yahweh Shai, he was humiliated by those so-called coaches, man. He's seeking $3 million in compensatory damages and $1 million in punitive damages. That just basically means, like, for all that emotional trauma bullshit. Like, where's the money gonna come from? You feel me? Marcus Watley, no beard on his face, probably removed the hat, bald as ever. Damn. Okay, Watley and other coaches have denied the allegations and in July filed a defamation suit against the family and school district. All right, when the story first broke last spring, we immediately came forward with evidence, including statements from more than a dozen eyewitnesses, showing that the wild accusations that the coaches forced KW to eat pizza against his religion were false and defamatory. Yeah, so they probably, right, because they believe that they're going to be the next superstar NFL players, and they don't want nothing to jeopardize that. Right, so of course they're gonna side with the coach. I mean, let's be real. But okay, so Peter Patakos, the coach's attorney, said, according to the paper, the coaches said they didn't force KW to eat anything, offered him chicken nuggets as an alternative, and that KW chose to pick off the pepperoni and eat the pie, the paper reported. Wow, that's crazy as shit. Alright, now let's get the other news article, man. Okay, you see how this is just being published now? Like, I wonder why. Alright, so, yeah, Canton, Ohio. Oh, okay. As a member of the Hebrew Israelite religious faith. Okay, I am not making this up. This is absolutely mind-blowing right now. Okay, it basically just goes on with what we just read. It says here, the now 18-year-old student has transferred to a different district after facing threats and ridicule from teammates and the public because of the situation. Well, he should, man. He caved. I mean, either way, he ended up eating the pizza, no matter how you put it. You could play the blame game, but he failed a major test. You can't call yourself a Hebrew Israelite and still partake in the world. Not to mention, if you should know by now, being in the NFL, well, being a football player, man, you're basically banging your head. You get CTE. Like, it's messed up, man. I used to play the sport, believe it or not. Like, not professional or nothing, but I played that shit in, my later elementary school days and a little bit in high school. And I was on the defense side too, so you're dishing the pain, right? I also played offense, so I understand getting hit and being hit. You know what I'm saying? And you constantly hitting your head and falling. Like, do you think that's what we're designed to be doing on a consistent basis? Hell no. That's a worldly thing to be doing, right? If you really want to work out, like, go buy your ass some gym equipment and work out at home if you're into that type of stuff. But this man had a decision and he made his. Actually, I should say he was willed to make this decision because Proverbs 20:24, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So let's get the script. So, of course, this KW character was citing Deuteronomy 14:8. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is what? It is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. All right, point blank. Yet they make it, because we live in such a backwards world, it's looked at as a delicacy. When you're basically eating cockroach, like if I could just put it, you're eating a bottom feeder, like a creature designed to cleanse this world. That's what you're putting in your body. Damn. So let's get this Abu Malaki Awashai. This in Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. And what's a wolf? A wolf will huff and puff and attempt to blow your motherfucking house down. But also, a wolf will eat up a sheep. I think. I'm not sure. I'm just kidding. Yeah, a wolf will eat up a sheep. Why? But you gotta look at it symbolically. A wolf is someone that's pretty cunning, and it will do cunning tactics, and a sheep is docile. All right, and that's why it needs a shepherd, and that's why it needs a shepherd dog, because sheep will get beside itself. All right, wolves don't need a shepherd or a shepherd dog to get in order. It's on the prowl. It's just going off instinct. So it will eat up the sheep without a moment's notice, just because the sheep got beside itself, right? But here we go. But be ye therefore wise as serpents. Now, a serpent is, Elder Apostle Gabar goes into this. There's intelligence levels. You have the toad, the parrot, the monkey, the owl, and then the dragon, which is the highest intelligence level, but we're supposed to be on the right-hand side, okay? And then you have the final form of the serpent, which is the dove-like serpent. And Yahushua is the symbol of a dove-like dragon because he knew everything. He didn't flex on it. When he did miracles, he would say, okay, don't tell nobody. He wasn't interested in the fame because it was all vanity, man. He was set up to do his father's business. And then here we go. And harmless as doves. It means be blameless. If you're in the word and you're wrapped up in prophecy, you are not going to be caught up in these type of situations. And if you are, you're going to use scripture. This KW character should have said, you know, fuck it, man. I'm just going to just trust in Yahweh Bashim Yeshai. And that's that. Probably even, you know, if he wants to get a little silly, like throw the pizza on the ground, you know, make a grand closing, you know what I'm saying? Or say, you know, fuck y'all, I'm out of here. But he caved, man. Like, damn. And now he's a spectacle. Now when he goes around, they're gonna be, wait, isn't you the motherfucker that you know, it's like you're gonna suffer for bullshit. And instead he could have been like, it could have been different, man. He could have been, sure he would have had to maybe transfer, but they would have been like, yo, man, we respect what you did, man. You stood up for your beliefs. Now it looks like he's a chump, man. And the Lord ain't dealing with someone like that. I mean, unless he, you know, he's the elect and this is just one of his trials and tribulations, we really don't know, man. We'll know when we're on that chariot. The Lord can forgive. We don't know who the Lord is going to have mercy on, in other words. Okay, so this is 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? A huge thing about being on a football team is you look at your fellow players as brothers. But we know that Yahweh said, who is my brother, who is my sister, who is my mother? Those that do the will of Yahweh Bashim Yeshai. If they were all encouraging him to just eat the pizza and threatening him, those ain't no brothers of mine. If those coaches we're telling him to eat that you ain't no brother of mine. You had no business in being in that situation. And okay, so he's in that situation. This should have been a wake up call. Like, yo, I'm being put. If he can say that it's against his faith, he clearly understands where that's coming from. It's coming from the scripts, man. He should have just pulled out the script, reminded himself, yo, man, if I really am a Hebrew Israelite as I claim to be, I understand that this carnal shit is nothing, man. But judging by the story, because they say that they caught his ass on camera, he ate the pizza, man. He ate the motherfucking pizza, man. And then he got clowned for it, and the Lord even made things worse for him. Had him run up and down, do duck walks and shit, like a fucking animal. Like, goddamn, man. So this is Yeremiah or Jeremiah 17:10. I, Yahweh Shemeshai, search the heart, the lob. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings. You reap what you sow, man. And yeah, you could still be doing, because there's none good, right? You could still be, trying to live a life where, you push your epistles, you pray, you don't be in places you shouldn't be, you don't dwell, you don't hang out with people you shouldn't be hanging out with. The Lord's still gonna test you, man. We're not exempt from judgment. We're gonna get little tests here and there to know where we're at. Like, are you gonna cave? Are you gonna fold like a cheap IKEA chair? Right? And I heard IKEA is raising its prices too. So you're gonna fold like a cheap IKEA chair that's, you know what I mean? Or are you gonna hold fast to what you have and let no man take your crown? The reason I'm having this epistle made is, number one, I'm will to, and number two, I want to share you with this quote that I learned, not recently, just in my life. A smart man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And a man that learns from both is beyond those two. Alright, so yo, let this be a lesson, man. Especially for you young Akim that getting, like, even claimed Hebrew Israelite. Alright, but he definitely is not part of GMS, man, because no GMS member is gonna be wrapped up in such a situation, man. And if you are wrapped up in this situation, you're gonna be circumspect. You're gonna use the scriptures, and you're gonna understand that it's just a test. Alright, so with that, I hope you all were edified. Shalom.